Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm familiar with these guys are at the shop.
Nice.
Cool.
Music with me.
Music.
Yeah.
Music and comics, yeah.
Yeah.
Music.
Comics, but now the music.
Yeah.
Cool. Yay.
Yeah, just hanging out.
I knew one of these guys was like, I'm just here. I just got
Sunday
stuck
night,
in here.
there's nothing else going on. I actually didn't know there was a comic book until I was in Newberry Comics, and I was walking by and it was right there on the edge. I'm like, oh crap. I bought their CD a couple months ago.
So what came first in the concept? Was it the music or the comic, or did they kind of both come at the same time?
So I created this project because I was like, okay, so the record business is failing. So what can we do to like do something that's like out of the box and has different revenue streams and like pulls everybody together? And I started this project like with the storyline. I was like, okay, we're gonna wrap a whole musical experience around a story and create a character and characters and a world, and then and then bring in music and bring in comics and bring in gaming or whatever we want to do with it. And that's kind of how it started. But it started with like, it was going to be a transmedia project from the get-go. A lot of like bands will do like, they'll get famous or whatever, and then, or whatever that means nowadays, and then they'll like put out a
Facebook page.
yeah, they'll got a Facebook page, and then they'll like put out a comic book or something, and that's not how we were birthed. Like we're like from the get-go, this is how it's gonna go. It's made to do this. So I think that's kind of what makes it different.
So in that process where you had a very set idea in place, how did the collaboration process go in the actual comic book creation? Was it very much like, this is what I want specifically, or did you have a little bit of creative input from your artists or from your other collaborators in the book?
Well, okay, so Mark Silvestri, you know that dude, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. So, like, he's my partner in this.
Okay.
So, like, I approached him first, and I was like, I have this idea, I have this concept, I have this character, what do you think? And he's like, well, what do you want to do with this? And I was like, I want to do this. And he's like, well, that's crazy. I'm totally in. And so we had a meeting that lasted like 6 hours, and we discussed everything. And he was kind of like, well, what if we do this with the character? What if we do that? He kind of helped me formulate the story Bible, and then I went back and I rewrote the story Bible, and then I came up with that, and then I brought it to like different people. Mariah McCourt was one of the writers on the first 2 books with me. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I wrote the second one. But then the 3rd and 4th issues, David Hine, he did like Spawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff. He's from England. He's British. But yeah, so he came in for the 3rd and 4th book. So, and he's really cool. I love David. I've known David for like 6 or 7 years now, and he's pretty awesome. And he brings like a darker shade to the comic book writing, which I really like.
He was actually supposed to
So.
write it from issue 1,
Yeah,
but just from the shuffling of schedules and different things happening.
we had to
Yeah.
switch partners.
Yeah,
in the
but
next
then we
four
went
for
back
now.
for 3 and 4, he was available.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so, but he's really cool.
Now, did you find any difficulty in the balance of switching artists like that, or did things kind of just flow?
Well, no,
pick
he's
up?
just the writing part of it.
He's the
But-
writing part. Like Samay did the first 2 issues, and then we have
Tina
Tina
Valentino.
Valentino that came in and did the last 2 issues. But Tina and Samay have a very similar drawing style. When you see the 3rd issue,
I mean, this is Tina,
you'll
and those 2.
are Samay.
Samay.
So if you look, you'll be like, oh, it kind of looks like the same artist in a way.
Okay.
But Mark has a very specific eye when he looks for artists, so that's kind of what he kind of levitates towards or gravitates towards. But yeah, no, he doesn't levitate, he gravitates. But that was a totally wrong word. Anyway, that's me trying to be smart, but failing so hard. Okay, anyway, but yeah, and then like with the writers, I kind of had the 4-story issue all mapped out, and the character arc mapped out. So all I needed to do was kind of like get on Skype with David and be like, okay, this is what's going on. Read the first 2 books. Where do you want to take it? Like, this is what I was thinking. Like, how do you want to make that happen? And he did a pretty good job at making that happen. So
Cool.
yeah, it was cool working with him again. So that's just
Anything else?
cool.
I'm so interested in like what everybody else is thinking and hearing and stuff.
Did you like the first 2 books? Like, what's the, everybody like them?
That read them? Who actually read them?
this guy.
Yeah,
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 Yes.
it's all right.
they're cool, it'll take a little bit of a darker turn on these two books,
Okay.
but like, I
That's
think
what
it
David
kinda,
does.
yeah, and I think it kinda explains, the first two issues introduce like a lot of characters, I think, but like, it kinda, like, you feel your way through it in the next two issues in the arc and kind of figure out what's going on with her and stuff. I think it's pretty solid piece, so. Cool.
Sorry, boats and nose.
No.
Skin and bones.
Scared of morals.
I'm breaking up. I've been beaten down, run around, know that I've had enough of the spotlight. Oh, you're just a girl. Been on a killing spree, haunting me eternally, and now my judge, jury, you can't walk right through it anymore. My skin and bones, my skin and bones. I know what I am, it's all you know. My skin and bones, my skin and bones. Stuck in between two prisons, where do I go? It's all you know. Down. That's the whoa-whoa part you guys are listening. Where do I call home? I think know if you're going down, ground bound to be overthrown. You reap what you sow. I'm on a full ride, thrown up by the night. Black tide full of me, alive. It's all you know, please tell me love. My skin and bones, my skin and bones. Rapture truth is drowned in yesterday, and every ounce of hate has slowly drained away. Whoa, whoa, good, good. Whoa, good. Whoa, whoa. Come on, move that good. Whoa. He's like, what am I doing here? It's all you know, deep down in our hearts. My skin and bones, my skin and bones. My skin and bones, my skin and bones. I know what I am, it's all you know. My skin and bones, my skin and bones. Stuck in between two prisons, where do I go? Whoa! That guy over